Louisa, welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me here today. Today we're going to be doing some printing and we're going to be creating background patterns and textures using good old simple cardboard, toilet roll, kitchen roll tubes. Something as simple as that, an everyday object that we've all got, doesn't cost anything, and we can create lots of different fun background effects. Here are a few finished tags where I've used the printed background and then added some collage elements on top. And I'm going to show you how these backgrounds were created really simply, really easily. And such a versatile item that we can all put our hands on really easily. So I'm going to clear these out of the way, get set up, and I'll show you how it's done. As always, I shall begin by giving you a quick rundown of the items that I'm using today. In front of me, I've got my 6x6" square gel plate. This is my Gel Press brand gel printing plate. Use whatever size you want. I'm going to be printing onto some tags that I've cut. And these I've just cut freehand. I haven't even used my cutting die today. Just cut freehand from some smooth white card. It's about 300 GSM, so it's got a bit of strength to it. And they're 6 inches by around about 3.5 inches. So that's why I'm using this size plate. They fit on there absolutely perfectly. And I just thought that today's exercise would work well for these small tag shapes. So I've cut a few of those. I have some acrylic paint. I'm using the Deco Art Americana paint again, and I've just sort of got a simple red, yellow, blue and green. So we've got sour apple, cadmium yellow, true red and desert turquoise. Again, just going to be sort of choosing contrasting colours just to show you the patterning that we can create today. Got a brayer. This is my Speedball brayer. Any brayer will do. I have some paper towel, I have some water for cleaning my plate in between. Got a bit of scrap paper off to the side if I need to roller some excess paint off my brayer. And then today, to be creating all our patterns, I'm going to be using something that every one of us will have in the house somewhere or at some time. Some cardboard tubes, toilet roll tubes, the larger kitchen paper towel tubes. Really good and versatile things for creating patterns on the gel plate. Don't cost anything because essentially these will just be going in the recycling when you've finished with them. So I know a lot of you always like to watch the videos where I've used things that we sort of just find around the house. And these are so versatile. I have used them occasionally in the past in some previous videos, but I thought today let's gather together lots of different ideas using these and put them all in one video together. One of the simplest techniques for using these rolls is to create almost like a roller stamp, and here's one that I've used in previous videos where I've taken the cardboard tube and I've wrapped, this is just some string, just some ordinary garden twine, wrapped it around there, and then as we roll that across the plate it creates a nice pattern. So I'm going to show you the pattern that creates in a moment, but I'm also going to show you another idea for wrapping things around a tube. I'm going to do it on one of the smaller ones, and I'm just going to take this piece of corrugated card. This was just out of some packaging that I've had, and you could do the same with a sheet of bubble wrap, something like that, create a different texture. And all I'm going to do is cut some wavy lines and wavy strips from this cardboard. I'm just going to cut a few like so, and I'm going to attach them around my tube. I'm just going to trim them so that they're not overlapping. Now you can attach them with glue, good strong glue, that'll keep it permanent. For speed today, I'm just going to use some double-sided tape. It will hold them in place for the purpose of today's video. So just going to attach a piece of the tape to the flat side of the corrugated card, peel off the backing, and attach this to my cardboard tube. And if there's any overlap, you can just trim with a pair of scissors. So I'm going to take another one or two, depending on how long your tube is. And leaving a little bit of a gap. Going to attach that one. Again, just trimming off any overlap. And we've got room for one more strip, so I'm going to take this one. Stick that down, and again just trim off that little excess bit there. And now we've got a patterned roller that we can create some texture and interesting pattern on our plate with. So now I've got my two different rollers here. Let's show you what they look like. So to begin with, I'm going to put one colour down on my plate. So I'm going to use the yellow. And I'm just going to pop some colour down onto my tag. Now you could brayer a couple of colours on here. I quite often blend two colours to create an ombre effect. There's my first base coat. I'll pop a bit more on here so that I can do my second tag. And this time I'll add a little bit of green in. Like so. Now you can use this paint up if you want to on another print. I'm just going to clean it off. I'm going to pop some of the blue, the desert turquoise on. And let's take this one that we've just made, and I'm going to think I might roll, no, I'm going to roll straight up and down. And then just go up this side here. I'm going to take this tag and let's place it this way on. And as you can see, that's creating a really interesting little textured striped design. I'm going to use this little bit that we've got at the top here just to create a stripe along the bottom of this other tab. Save it going to waste. So we've got that, and I'll pattern the rest of this tag using our other roll with the string on it. So let's choose a different colour. Let's contrast and pop some of the red on. I'm going to take this roll with the string wrapped round it and just roll that over like so. You can do it a couple of times if you want the patterning to be a bit more coverage, shall we say, with the patterning. So let's do that a second time. And then leaving this bottom section out, I'm going to put my tag on and print that design at the top. And as you can see, again, that gives a different type of design. I really like it. It's a nice random pattern, and I've used that for create backgrounds where I want it to look like the sky or the sea using shades of blue and green, and it's very effective for that. So again, if you want to use the leftover paint, go ahead and do so. I'm just going to clean my plate off and get ready for the next set of prints. And so for our next prints, I'm going to use the end of the tube and use it just as it is. Now obviously we can create a circle with this, but we can also put it on the plate and move it and create other effects as well. So I'm going to show you the couple of different patterns that you can get just by stamping and patterning with the end of the tube. So this time I'm going to put some red down on my plate and a little bit of the yellow. And again, going to pop down a layer of colour on a tag. Like so. Let's put a little bit more yellow on and blend those colours out just to recover the plate. Again, I'm just going to clean this off. This time again, going to pop the blue on. I'm going to take one of my tubes and just press the end in randomly over the whole plate, allowing the circles to overlap. And I really like this. I love working with circles and stripes, so I do like this sort of pattern. You can do a similar thing with bottle tops, different sizes to create different size circles, but the end of a paper tube, absolutely perfect. And I'm going to pop some more paint down. This time I'm going to take the end of the tube, I'm going to place it on the plate, and then I'm going to move it slightly. Move it about somewhere between ½ an inch to an inch. Still keeping it down on the plate, just sliding it down. And this will create a totally different type of pattern. And I quite like that sort of a retro feel pattern, and you almost get a three-dimensional image of a tube. But again, totally different design, just using the same item in a very similar way. Next up, I'm going to cut one of the tubes into little pieces and assemble them to make a pattern that isn't just a plain circle. So here I've cut one of the shorter toilet roll tubes. I've cut it into 6 rings, just used a craft knife to cut it. And I'm going to pinch the circles to make them more like a leaf shape, or in this instance it'll be a petal shape. And I'm going to join them together and create a sort of simplified flower. You can use tape. I think I'm going to use a staple just for, again, for speed. Just making sure that the bottom edges are lined up. There is some variation in the thickness that I've cut, but as long as they're all flush where they're going to sit on the plate, that's absolutely fine. And as you can see, I've created a flower design. So let's pop some paint on the plate. Let's start with the green this time. Got some basic colour down on our tag. And I think we'll pop the blue down next. And we'll press our cardboard flower down onto the plate, like so. You can repeat this just to fill the surface of the plate. Like so. And then press the tag down to get the print. Like so. And that's really nice. That's the perfect opportunity to add extra detail in with paint pens and things like that. And finally, well, what if you don't actually have an empty one of these yet? What if all you've got is the roll of kitchen paper towel that you use in your craft room? Well, why not try printing with the end of that still with this paper wrapped around it? And don't think then that this paper is going to go to waste, because once your paint's dry, you can still use this for cleaning up afterwards. Just be careful not to, while it's still a bit wet, don't wipe it all over your worktops. So let's just pop some yellow paint down on our plate to create a base layer. Like so. And we'll pop some of the red down. And then taking the end of our paper towel, going to lightly press it down. Like so. And say, don't pop that side down on the table, just leave that up. It won't take long to dry because there's very little paint actually gone onto there. You could always add a little extra detail by using the cardboard tube just to define that inner section there, perfectly optional. And let's take our print. And as you can see, you get a really fun, sort of slightly fuzzy circular design. It really does pick up some of the layers of that paper. So again, just another option using the same type of item. I'm going to clean this up. I'll come back and show you our finished prints. So I'll be back in a moment. So here are our finished tags. First of all, we had this one here where we wrapped these strips of corrugated card around the cardboard tube. I really like that effect. I like using corrugated card anyway, but this way to give a broken line, it's an interesting design. Then this one here was where I used a little bit of that previous print along with the tube that had the string wrapped around it, just to give a totally different texture. The third tag, we just pressed the end of our cardboard tube randomly over the surface of the plate to create these circles. Next, we put the tube onto the plate and then dragged it slightly to create this more 3D retro effect. Then we attached lots of sections of tube together to create almost a flower design, and again created a different shape. We pinched the circles so they were in this petal shape. And finally, we used the end of a roll that still had paper on it to create a totally different design with this wider circle. I think it's a really fun thing to do, to take everyday items and create interesting prints using them. And this is, again, really simple, completely cost is zero. You know, you should have all these items in your house. If for any reason you do not have a cardboard tube in your house, just cut a strip of card, make it into a circle shape. You know, you can still do this type of thing. If all you've got is a flat piece of card, if all you've got is a spare tag, you could indeed just roll it up and tape it into a tube shape and use that. There's no reason why you can't have a go at these ideas today. I'm just going to finish these tags off with some collage sheets. These are Ranger Dilutions collage sheets. I'm just going to add a little bit of interest, and then in the pictures at the end you can see some ideas of what a finished tag could look like. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.
I can try if you let me. Without lives I am bleeding. Who am I without stories that aren't mine? What I do